Today we're talking craft beer label designs. I've got 7 great designs right here. We're gonna have a look at them, share my thoughts, talk about how they were made. Let's go. Hello everybody, my name is Dave and I'm the founder of Print Design Academy, where we are teaching graphic designers to be experts in print and packaging design. Now, one of the best ways to learn how to create great print and packaging is to take some good stuff that's already out there in the world and do a little tear down. Just take it apart, understand how it was made, the materials used, the colors used, any unique file setup things that you'd need to know. One of the greatest ways to learn, and it's one of the things I have the most fun with. So I've got 7 craft beer labels today we're going to dive into, have a look at, and let me tell you how they were made. I'm gonna work left to right. Starting out here, we've got this lovely label here from Fieldhouse Brewing. Now, what instantly caught my eye about this one is the beverage color and the label contrast, but also all these die-cut holes in this thing, these little die-cut holes. It looks really great on the shelf, and holding it in your hand, you feel all those like little indents from the holes cut out. Just feels super cool. Great shelf appeal. When you get it in your hand, great hand feel. You basically just made a sale. So let's have a look at this one, materials. I will say first up, it's got a soft touch laminate on it for sure. This thing is velvety smooth. It's not just a matte finish, it's a soft touch finish because it's just like very suede feeling and like velvety smooth. Very nice. So I like to start with a little label peel back. I mean, this one's pretty straightforward because I don't see any shiny bits on it that would indicate, hey, maybe this is like a metallic or foiled material. So I'm gonna say that this is a standard BOP, B-O-P-P. I don't really remember what it stands for, biaxial polypropylene, something like that. Basically, it's just a standard plastic label. Fully recyclable though. And yeah, peel back the label and you can see right there, it's just white. It's no like foils or shiny bits going on there on the back side of the material. All good. We've got a soft touch laminate on the front. We obviously have a die cut here for, not only the rounded corners of this label, but for the die cut holes. Color wise, let's have a little bit of a closer look here. Get my trusty loop. Okay. Yeah, I definitely see like a printed pattern in there. Okay, so this is printed CMYK, likely digitally printed just for shorter runs, quicker turnarounds, that sort of thing. But a beautiful label, super impactful, great shelf appeal. Let's talk a little bit about the file on this one. You will need a die line layer in your file, separated from your CMYKs, set up as like a spot color, something that is just obviously separate from the artwork of the file. That die line will not only have your rounded corners, but it'll also have all these little holes in there. That will be your die line. Make this thing like a super bright, obvious color so the printer knows exactly what you got going on. And yeah, just make sure you label it super clear, die line in your layers. Just label that layer, okay? So they know what was going on. Next up, we've got this one, Stanley Park Brewing Cold Front IPA Sapling Series. Now, what caught my eye about this label was the illustrations, but also the color. So I love this dark blue background with like the sort of like lime green, I guess you'd call it. Lime green illustrations all over it. Thought it looked really cool, but there's also something else interesting that caught my eye on this one. Cans are silver, kids. Just in case you didn't know, cans are silver. You have a look at the bottom. This label doesn't cover the full can, but it's like a printed gray almost on the can itself. That could be one of two things. One is either a misprint and the label's covering something up, or maybe they stopped the presses, like, oh my God, that beer's not working, stop the presses, but they already printed that color and they just made use of them. Maybe they picked them up real cheap because somebody else had a misprint or something. They put the label over top. Or maybe, just maybe, they did that on purpose, but I don't know why you would do that because you would just print the artwork on the can. So it leads me to believe there's a little cover up, a little something under there, you know what I mean? Other than that, we've got a standard white BOP. You could do the little corner peel back on this one so you can see, if it's got something special happening. Nope, just a standard white BOP plastic label. This one has a matte laminate over top of it for scuff protection on the artwork. It also just kind of feels nice in the hand to not have like a super shiny glossy label. Just a cool, clean design. In your file, you'll have your CMYK artwork, obviously, but you will also have a die line layer because you got a couple of rounded corners on there. Make sure you label that separately. Let's have a little loopy look here. Yeah, your CMYK dot pattern. CMYK kids, likely digitally printed as well. Sort of those short run specialty ones. Nice looking label. Next up is this label here by Steel and Oak Zonophone Chocolate Raspberry Porter. Ooh, sounds delightful. Now, the reason I grabbed this label, first up, it reminds me of Austin Powers, right?
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Just that design. It's kind of like Wretch. I don't know. You know what I mean? Anyways, really clean design, right? I just like it. Really cool pattern in there. When you've got those kind of colors and it's a chocolate raspberry porter, you've got some browns, you've got some pinky red tones in there, leading you to believe that the label was designed based on the name or flavor of the drink. Who would have thought? So looking on the back here, little label peel, nothing shiny or sort of foily going on here. Just a really cool label design. Again, in your file, you will have a die line because we've got some rounded corners, and make sure you label that properly and separate it for your printer. Hold on. Before I show you the next label, we get into some cool shiny ones, so stay excited. I rearranged my desk so you know that this is future Dave that you're talking to. Down in the description of this video is the link to download our free guide to craft beer label design. You hear me? The free guide to craft beer label design. This will be an incredibly powerful tool for you on your label design journey. It's free, don't miss it. The link is down in the description of this video. You hear me? Now to the next label. Moving into some shiny labels now. We've got this one from Strathcona Brewing out of Vancouver, British Columbia. I can already tell from the artwork that there's some foil bits going on here. There's some shiny foil bits, but I always like to start with a little label peel back. And when I peel it back, yep, exactly what I thought, a foil silver metallic label stock or a metallic bop, sometimes called a met bop, that sort of thing. We've also got white on the outside of the artwork of this label. So let's talk about what's going on here. So looking at this through my trusty little loop here, I can tell it's CMYK printed, but we've got white going on here. Now, if you were using a white material, like the earlier labels we talked about, you just reverse your artwork out and you let the white stock, the white material show through. But this one, it's all silver metallic. So what do we got going on? There's white. That means they printed white. The other way I know that is there's only certain elements of this design that have that foil metallic effect going on, like foil metallic reds going on, but some of it doesn't, which tells me that the white was printed in a pattern on the label, which where the white is printed, it kills the metallic of the stock, that shiny metallic. When you print white on top of it, it kills the metallic. But everywhere that you do not print white and you leave foil, whatever you print on top of that is gonna go metallic. So we've got some metallic reds, some metallic pinks going on in this design, and then areas that don't have any metallic, and then of course the white that's left to just be white overprint on that metallic stock. Really cool, clean design. Now the other thing to know about when you're printing with a metallic stock is your barcode, your UPC. If you need that to be scannable, you're gonna have to put that in like a white background to make it easily scannable. If you put just the barcode directly on the metallic, silver metallic stock, it might be tough to scan, and that's just gonna create problems. Don't do that, okay? Now, on the file side for this particular label, you will have your die line layer like we talked about before, but you will also have a white layer. This white layer will be separated, not built into your artwork. It'll be a separate layer dealt with separately with the printer. So they'll take the white layer, they will print your white, then your colors will go on in register over top of that, creating all of your cool foil effects, your metallic effects. So the other point I'll mention on this one is it's not a super shiny foil. Like if you think hot foil, like a traditional foil, you think really shiny. This one is not. It's more of a satin foil. And the reason for that is because they've taken the shiny metallic stock, they've printed on top of it, then they've put a matte laminate over top of all the artwork printed for scuff protection. And what that also does is it creates this satin foil look, not a shiny foil, but gives it more of a satin foil look. So really classy, I like it. Moving on here, we've got the Barnside Brewing Cove Farm Fresh Beer, Port Guichon. I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry. Port Guichon Oat Porter. Very retro vibe, like mega retro vibes coming off of this thing. Shiny foil metallic stuff going on here. So let's have a closer look. Using my loop. Okay, in the foil, I got some print dots. Okay, telling me something's going on there. Yeah, just super cool. I like this one. Okay, so let's start with a little label peel back. My hunch is that this is a silver metallic or a metallic bop. Yep, metallic bop. So what do we got going on here? Again, like the last one, we've got a white layer, we've got a dye line, and then we've got our colors over top of that. Now, with this particular one, they have highlighted gold. Now, how do we get gold foil on this thing? Well, we've got a silver shiny foil stock. Then when you print a percentage of yellow on this, and that percentage of yellow will change the shade of the gold that you get. But you can create gold foil. So now the way that they've done the highlights in this one, just sort of highlighting some text, got some fine illustration details like hops or wheat along the side here. You've got this cool border around some sort of focal imagery on the front of it. A really classy way to get foil into the design using that metallic stock, and it just creates a really impactful look on the shelf. Really classy look, and like I said earlier, really cool vintage retro vibes. So well done. I like this one. Well done, Barnside Brewing Co. out of Ladner, British Columbia. I think there's a spot matte varnish on this because I can see a little bit of misregistration around the foils where a little bit of that like matte coating is like hanging out a little bit. But this foil on here, this foil effect is shinier than I would expect if they had done like a full matte laminate on it, which leads me to believe that there's a spot varnish going on to protect the varnishes, to protect the finish, but they didn't print varnish in these foil areas, which is just making sure that that foil stays really glossy, really shiny. So really cool effect. And whenever you're using foil in like fine detail work, I love it. I love it. Looks so great. This can here, which if you couldn't tell already from the close-ups, I dropped shortly after filming the B-roll, and the top of it's kind of crushed. So my bad. This one here, Phillips Brewing and Malting Co. Benefit Brew Pacific Salmon Foundation Mango Hazy ISA. Interesting. So what caught my eye about this label is the fishies in the circle on the front and little fishies kind of around the label are shiny metallic. So again, in sort of keeping with the trend right now, that leads me to believe that we've got a foil metallic material here. Peel it back. Yep, metallic bop. So silver metallic bop. Then we've got our white printed on top because there's definitely white ink, white areas, and also areas that don't have that silver metallic. Then we've got your CMYK printed on top of that. But what's cool about this is there's areas here where they didn't even print any ink on top of the silver stock. So there's no white ink, there's no colored ink, it's just showing straight through to the silver stock, which shows up silver, shows up like silver metallic. This one also has a matte laminate over top of it, so you end up with more of a satin silver metallic than you do a shiny foil silver metallic, but a really cool look. The foil still catches the light, still gets that shelf attention, is just a cool design, something nice to look at while you're drinking a beer. So well done. Last but not least, and sort of a really, really cool example of how you can use this metallic foil stock is this one by Deep Cove. Now I've talked about Deep Cove Brewing before because they do some really cool things with their labels. Always using a metallic bop or that shiny foil metallic stock, and then some fine line work or just using that foil in the illustration themselves. So just to be super safe and sure, I'll do a little label corner peel back here. Peel it back. Yep, got my shiny metallic, all good. We've got white for sure because we've got white elements in the label. Now that's not the stock, we know that. That is a white ink printed on that silver, shiny silver metallic stock. Now we've got like different shades of green metallic in this snake image. We've got different shades of even gray and silver metallic in this soccer ball over here with this breakaway amber ale. And there's even like fine lines in the background here. There's even another snake over on the side here with like more foil in there, different shades of brown foil. So even red foil in the type here. So you've got honestly probably 8 to 10 different colors of foil using this metallic foil substrate, printing white where you don't want metallic, and then printing any color you want, your full color image, over top of the label. So the stuff where you've printed white, not metallic, the stuff where you don't have white, browns, greens, purples, reds, whatever it is, will be a metallic of that color because of the stock. So just a great job there. I love this one. Super great label. Well done, Deep Cove. Always impressive labels. Always these cool like animal illustrations with foil built in. So there we are, 7 craft beer labels and how they were made. Now you can do labels, you can print on cans, but you can also do shrink sleeves. Now when you're getting into shrink sleeves, it's a completely different beast to understand. Now I have a video where I went through this same kind of process, how to look at some awesome shrink sleeves and told you the tips and tricks on how they were made. And if you want to learn that stuff, check this video right here.